Thanks, listeners, for jumping in and joining us today for Elko Live, our radio show here on KELK, in which we feature community news. And we're so pleased to welcome back, it's been a month already, Matt McCarty, who is our Executive Director of the Terrace at Ruby View, our very own active and senior lifestyle center. Matt, it's great. What a busy summer.
Yes, ma'am. It has been a very busy summer. I can't believe it's August. School starts next week. It's crazy. Where did the summer go?
I know. We got through it together. A lot of really fun things. We have super fun things ahead. Talking with, chamber folks, convention center folks. As you mentioned, school. People are just kind of excited, I think, to get back into more of a routine now. Maybe?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And perhaps at least leave these 3-digit temperatures behind us.
Yeah. It's been nice to have highs in the 80s, but doesn't that sound funny? In the upper 80s, low 90s sounds great. So compared to what we've had.
That's right. Driving into town today, I could leave the windows down in the car. It was 50 degrees. I was loving it. It was good.
Yep. So Matt is going to tell us more about what we can look forward to as senior members of the Terrace at Ruby View. I know that you had a good success, I think, with the Senior Olympic Games, right?
We did. It was a good success. I was not able to join this year. I was not able to help out the actual events. I was with the Boy Scouts on our week-long camp out. You were looking at my water bottle, and it says bedazzled. When we leave something behind, they embellish it, and so they add to it and make it nice and more better. And because that's a good word, more better. That's a good phrase,
yeah,
right?
That's bedazzled.
And so, yeah, it was bedazzled. Each of these little grooves here in the duct tape that says bedazzled at one point held some type of plant life.
Oh.
There was a twig of a pine cones, or a pine tree with pine cones sticking out of it, and so that's our way to say, hey, don't leave your stuff behind.
That's right, because we're gonna vandalize it a little bit, and it was vandalized, bedazzled with duct tape. So
right.
It's important to know.
Yes, that's what held all the flowers and weeds and tree branches and everything else that was on it. It blended in. It was nice. But because I was at Scout Camp with my water bottle getting bedazzled and embellished, I missed the senior games. But we did get a good report. Things worked really well. As always, Jenny Eckert is an amazing person, and she is so good, and she runs to every different event. She makes sure that she's present. She really is the epitome of servant leadership. She's always there to make sure that whoever is helping has what they need to be able to succeed. And so
thanks, Jenny.
She did wonderfully, yes.
She puts her heart into all of that. And thanks to all the senior Olympic athletes. And, I've been thinking about you at the Terrace because I know a lot of your seniors were looking for some new activities and events, and talking with Gail Rappa, who's the new director of continuing ed at GBC. She is just putting together all kinds of classes, courses from art to fitness. She's got a pickleball class now.
Terrific.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And anybody of any age can sign up. Continuing ed classes are low cost, easy access.
Yes.
Because they're not for credit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just
for fun.
And that's what I was going to say. It's just for fun. It's just to be able to learn something new, to discover perhaps a new hobby, or maybe just brush up on some things that you haven't done in a while. So that's terrific. I'm glad to hear that. And pickleball was one of the things that we had at. In fact, I think it was one of the most popular that we had this year for the senior games. And all of our different coordinators, they do such a great job, including Jen over at Great Basin College. She does all of our indoor gymnasium type things, the basketball. She did the HIIT, HIIT, which is kind of a low-intensity CrossFit is my understanding, and she did a couple of other things over there. So yeah, it was really good.
She is a wonderful fitness trainer. She did a weight conditioning class just over the summer that was short. I really like that one, so I'm thinking about the fall already. So yeah, so Matt, that's just an example of the wonderful collaboration and partnerships that we have in our community with the Terrace.
Absolutely. One of the reasons that I was a little worried that I might be tardy again, because I know that about 1 in 3 times I'm running late.
You're good.
Today we had Produce on Wheels, and the Produce on Wheels truck is sponsored by the Northern Nevada Food Bank, or I think it's Food Bank of Northern Nevada, and they come up to Elko once a month. It is always busy. In fact, it ends, so it starts at 11:30, right when we're getting ready to do lunch. So about half of the dining room stays in and eats their lunch first, and then goes and gets the produce. The other half is getting the produce, and then when they get that, they come back in and get lunch. And as I was running out the door, there were still probably 25 people in line. So yeah, it's the hour that Sean and his team are there is busy. They are so good to our community and to our seniors. Our seniors really are benefiting well from this, and because of that, we're looking at expanding our partnership to perhaps be able to offer senior boxes generated through the Food Bank of Northern Nevada. And so again, just those good collaborations that help support our community.
Well, thanks, Matt. And it is a perfect time of year as we're transitioning from summer. We'll ease into fall. There are, opportunities to arrange for things, make appointments, for example. This is a good time of year for that. I saw where Nevada Legal Services is going to be at the Terrace, and that's on the 21st.
Yeah, Amy comes in every other month. And if there's somebody that needs something in between, then we can certainly put them in contact with Amy. But Amy comes to the center once a month so that she can meet with people. And when people have, perhaps it's just a will question, or they need to codify the will and make sure that everything is in order. Maybe they want to establish a trust. Simpler things they can go ahead and Amy can help them with. And then if it gets more complex, she can either refer them to someone else within the Nevada legal system framework, or she can then refer them to somebody local, perhaps they're a state attorney or something like that. And so it works out really well because it's a no-cost consultation to be able to just say, is this something that I should worry about, or is this something that that is okay? She's helped people with custody issues, with the grandparents trying to get custody of their grandchildren because perhaps something happened to their own children and the grandchildren are now temporarily wards of the state. Things like that. Or perhaps, unfortunately, we see this more regularly than we should. Maybe the children, the parents are in jail or incarcerated, and so the grandparents are trying to get custody of their grandchildren. And so she helps with that, with estates, with landlord issues. We've had people that have come in and gotten help from her with that. So it's really nice that she can be as well-rounded as she is and that she can provide this service to our seniors.
Yeah, and as always, if you are concerned about a senior who is in peril, either through their own situation, maybe they're suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's, or if there's someone taking advantage of them, even if it is a family member, it's important to reach out to get that help, to get free consultation, whether or not it's with Nevada Legal Services or any of the other services offered by our very own Terrace at Ruby View. It's nice to know that we have a great partner in the community who looks out for our senior population, Matt.
Absolutely, and we appreciate that. We appreciate being able to serve, and we appreciate the partnerships that do help us, because that is something that comes up sometimes. And for example, our Meals on Wheels folks, when our Meals on Wheels drivers are delivering, sometimes they see things and it's concerning, and we may not know everything that's happening. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, one of our drivers went into the house and was really concerned that all of a sudden, this person that was okay last week is now bedridden. What happened? And we weren't able to get a hold of the emergency contacts, and there was nobody there. She was in bed, and what was happening here? So we did call Adult Protective Services. Subsequent to that, we got a hold of the emergency contact and found out, yes, this is what the situation is. And so then when Adult Protective Services called us back, because we are mandatory reporters, we are required to report things that we think may be a sign of abuse or even self-neglect, we were able to say, yes, subsequent to the report, we were able to contact their emergency contact, and things were good. So so it's good to have that partnership and that collaboration. And we want to make sure that folks know, if they do have concerns, that it's better to say something than not say something. If you see something, say something. And we've heard that a lot since over the past 20 plus years after 9/11. But it's more than just terrorism or other violent type of things. It's other things that just don't look right. Better to say something and find out that it was nothing than to not say anything and find out that you could have been the last person that person saw alive because of an issue that has occurred.
And there are lots of ways that you can report. If it's something that is not an immediate, not an emergency, obviously, you can call the terrorists at Ruby View, 775-738-3030, and talk to a real live person there on the other end.
Absolutely. We'd be happy to help. And what we'll probably do is direct you to Adult Protective Services. And if it's not an emergency situation, as you mentioned, and something that you just want to report, you can call Adult Protective Services at 888-729-0571. That's a toll-free number statewide. And of course, if it is an emergency situation, call 911. Make sure that 911 is aware first, and then we can kind of go through the rest of the things.
We did have a recent program in which an Elko police detective talked about the prevalence of some of these online scams, Matt, and some of the social media scams. And unfortunately, locally, about $70,000 has been lost to these scammers from various victims of, various ages and experience in life. And those victims are reluctant to come forward often because they're embarrassed, Matt.
And it is an embarrassment issue, and it's a shame because without knowing, we don't know how widespread it is, and we also don't know what some of the new tricks are that some of them pull. So it is embarrassing, but please report it. Make sure that someone knows so that we can start finding out what the scam is, and we can immediately start releasing that information. We do have people fairly regularly, unfortunately, that come into the center and have said that, I was exposed here, or I was, hacked here, and they do lose money. I've, in my own family, people that I know are very savvy have still fallen prey to this, and they are so convincing. And so what I've basically told everybody is I've said the minute that there's a red flag, even if it seems legitimate, just say, may I have your name and phone number, and I'll call you back. Call someone you trust and have them come with you. And then they can also be able to say, no, this isn't real. If somebody calls and says, we're from the police department and we have your grandson locked up, you need to bail him out, this is the bail, or a bail bondsman calls. If it's legitimate, they are going to find a way to be able to contact you again. And if you say, I'd like to call you back, they're going to say, okay. No one is ever going to pressure you if it's legitimate. So the minute there's pressure, that should be the first thing to just hang up. And if nothing else, well, the line got disconnected and they'll call you back.
Matt, that's good advice. And again, helping our senior population and just anybody in general, because we do know that the terrace has also been a place for other people to, to seek help, to seek daily meals. It's just been a really nice respite for a lot of people to have this facility for socialization, for special events, for bingo.
Absolutely, yeah. We just had bingo last week, and it was terrific. We have bingo usually on this program. I'm telling about bingo for that night, but it's actually next week. So that's just the way that it fell this month, and we'll have bingo in Spring Creek next Wednesday, and we had bingo here in Elko this past Thursday, and it was nice. Paid out $605 in cash, and so that was good. We also have a progressive bingo, and that one is now up to, I think, $250 for one game. And it's only $1 to buy into that game. And so we're appreciative of our partnership with the Nevada Gaming Control Board. They allow us to have this charitable bingo, and so we're happy for that. What I try to tell people is the $605 that was paid out means that the senior center also kept $605, and that equates to 200 meals for our seniors. And so when you think of it, that's pretty impactful.
Yeah, that's a great night of entertainment for the community and then providing that important service to our senior population. Meals are just a suggested $3 donation if you are 60 or better, and otherwise it's $10, and it's a delicious home-cooked meal, full 5 courses. I mean, there's dessert, everything. I'm always checking out. Oh, today was peanut butter cookies?
That's right.
Oh, my gosh,
Yep.
great.
Yeah, we had peanut butter cookies. We had 2 different soups. We had a beef vegetable soup and a pork carnitas soup. It was good, and of course that's just the supplement to the egg salad sandwich on a bagel. So yesterday was meatloaf, always a favorite. 130 some odd people, I think, for meatloaf. So.
Wow. So meals are going well. Meals on Wheels are going well, both Elko and Spring Creek, Matt?
Yes, yeah, they are going well. We have 4 trucks right now, and one of them is 14 years old, and so we kind of run into some hiccups sometimes. So this past 3 weeks, I think we've only been running 3 trucks, but we should next week be able to have all 4 trucks running again. So we'll have 2 routes out in Spring Creek once again, and continue the 2 that we have in town. When we are down a truck, we just combine the 2 Spring Creek routes. It takes a little bit longer. It kind of messes with some people's schedule, but we make it work, and we want to make sure that everyone gets their meals. And we're excited that we're just waiting on one more official document, but we believe that the state is giving us yet one more grant that we'll be able to purchase a new truck with, and then we'll have 4 that are all within, I think, 5 years old. And so then our little Ranger, our Ford Ranger, will be able to park and use just as a backup when our other trucks go in for routine maintenance.
Oh, that's great, Matt. It's wonderful to hear. In fact, the support is growing for the Terrace at Ruby View. I check the list every month to see all the new members you're adding, and it's almost like you're your own chamber of commerce. You're busy.
It is wonderful to see the people come in. People that may not have been there for a while, but they also bring people, and they say, "This is, come in. This is where we are, and we want you to be happy and comfortable." And people move into the area, and luckily and thankfully, we're well enough established and well enough known throughout the community that it doesn't take long for somebody to say, "Oh, you should go up to the senior center," and so we get visitors that way, and pretty soon those visitors, become our guests.
It is one of the nicest facilities in Elko, Matt, and you do enjoy that collaboration, city, county, contributions with the foundation, because you are also a nonprofit. And, we talk a lot on this program with our agencies about, jail expansion and justice complex. But we do know it's important to put the senior center also on the list because you're looking at your future as well.
That's right. Yes, absolutely. In fact, today we had, with the Produce on Wheels and with all of the other people that were coming in for lunch, we had, I would say, more than 20 vehicles that were parked on Indian View Heights. And luckily it's a wider road, but it's still something that we'd rather our seniors not have to cross the street. We want them being able to park in the parking lot, and we just simply don't have room. We have opportunities for growth, but only if we can find another land, a plot of land, and be able to build a building. So over the next 5 years, and we'll see what the board says, because the board will make this decision probably in December at our December board meeting, and decide if we're going to do a capital program and have a grassroots type of fundraising, how we're going to approach this, and hopefully we'll have some exciting news at the beginning of the year. But yeah, we are certainly busting at the seams, and our parking lot is just much too small for what we need on about 2 of the 5 days a week that we're open. But we're landlocked, and that's just the way it is. I don't think 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 4 years ago, when that building was built, it was expected for growth, but I think we've kind of met that. And 20 years is a good time for a building.
Yeah, definitely. And it's hard to know, if you did need to expand on site, as you said, the issue is having enough parking for the facility to be able to grow, to accommodate the new senior members. And we're living longer, we're healthier, Matt. This is all good. It's a good problem to have.
It is.
Yeah. So I was really happy that you can come on the radio and talk about this so people are aware that careful plans are being made. You have a board of directors. They actively seek funding. We've gotten a lot of grants. You have the confidence of the Pennington Foundation, Matt. That's terrific.
Yeah, it's wonderful to be able to continue that partnership and that relationship. They have been very supportive of the senior center over the years. In fact, the roof that's on the building now was in part because of the Pennington Center or the Pennington Foundation, and so it is nice to have that. They also help contribute with supplemental monies for our meals to keep those costs, as you mentioned earlier. Suggest a donation of $3. That's because of support from the community and from organizations such as the Pennington Foundation, because they give us that supplemental income that helps keep the costs low. We found some old menus, and I think it went back to 2004. And the suggested meal cost at that point was $2.50. So
wow.
In 20 years, the cost has only gone up 50 cents. And we do everything we can to try to keep the meals at a high quality so that it's nutritious and so that people want to eat them, while at the same time keeping the cost as low as it can be.
Matt McCarty is the executive director of the Terrace at Ruby View, our senior and active lifestyle center. I want to make sure we're getting to your topics today. If there's anything special you wanted to roll in today?
You know, we were talking a little bit earlier about scams and threats that are electronic or telephonic, but there are also physical threats. And an elderly person can be viewed by those who want to do harm as an easy target. And so I'm hopeful that next time I'm on the program, I'll have more details. But we were just approached yesterday with by a local couple that asked if they could put on a basic self-defense type course. We're not looking at, teaching people how to box or jujitsu or anything like that. It's more situational awareness. One of the things that I thought was terrific as I was reading through, and this applies kind of more when you're traveling, but it could happen here as well. If somebody comes up and says, "Give me your wallet," don't give them your wallet. Instead, throw it. And then they're going to go after the wallet and give you the opportunity to get away. And so I thought, you know what, that's genius. Because if you're throwing it and you're going, if you're, they're chasing after the wallet and you're going another way, then you're safe. Yes, you've lost your wallet, but is it really worth it? Or your purse, whatever it may be. And once they have it, they're probably not going to be chasing after you. And so it's these type of things to consider when you're walking up to your car. Who's parked by you? Maybe it's better to get into the passenger side. Or perhaps it's better to come back into the building, going back into the bank or to the senior center and just say, "Hey, would you mind walking me out?" We are prideful as people, and we do get embarrassed easily. But again, it's better to be safe than it is to be sorry. And so I'm hopeful that I'll have some more information to be able to present at the next program with more details on that. And so that's one of the things that's coming up. We also have just next week on Tuesday, Jason Land with Edward Jones is going to be coming in, and he'll be talking about qualified charitable distributions. When you get to a certain age and you have your investment vehicles, the federal government requires you to start taking out distributions. You have to make withdrawals so that it just doesn't continue to grow forever. And what Jason is going to talk about is how you can take those withdrawals out that are mandated by the federal government, but still become perhaps tax advantageous to you. For example, we don't keep track of who gives what at the senior center. But if somebody wanted to come in and say, "I'm going to pay X amount," let's say they said $33 a meal, and they said, "I think I'm going to eat 20 days this month. Here's $60. Okay, would you like a receipt? Yes, I would. They can then claim that $60 as part of a charitable giving because it's a suggested donation. We don't charge for that. There's not a cost associated. The same thing could happen with an investment vehicle. If you have to make that qualified distribution, then you could give it to a qualified charitable organization. The senior center, I think the animal shelter would qualify. Certainly Safe Haven, over by Emily would qualify. There are many organizations that would qualify. And so that gives you that tax benefit of it going to donation, satisfies the federal government's requirement, and if it's to the senior center, could also pay for lunch guilt-free.
Yeah, and help support your fellow seniors. And it's nice that the seniors can, confidently steer their resources towards something that they have a passion for, they believe in, and contribute to the community that way. That's really cool, Matt.
It is. It is very cool. Yep,
nice.
Absolutely. Next Tuesday, we also have the travel club coming back. Sue Bradford is going to be coming back in, and she's going to be helping with the travel club. We thought we were pretty close to getting a trip planned late last year, and early this year we were going to try to look at finding a coach bus that could go to many of the national parks in the western side of the United States. Nothing too extravagant, a 7 to 10 day trip. Unfortunately, I couldn't devote the time that I needed to find a coach bus that would be able to work with everything that we needed, and it kind of fell by the wayside. But Sue's coming back, and Sue's going to be able to take a look at that, see what we can do for travel for our seniors, whether it's more regional or perhaps it's cross-country or even international. Right before COVID struck, the senior center was getting ready to go on a trip to Ireland.
Aww.
And so I think we still have some folks that want to go to Ireland, and so we might be able to plan that over the next 18 months or so.
Oh, that's exciting. So Travel Club, if you're interested in helping get that going again, it sounds like you're off to a good start with Sue Bradford at the Terrace at Ruby View. We do know that the Terrace is also there to help people with health issues, to just generate more awareness. We're heading back into, we've had a spike in COVID over the summer months, and our senior population is among those folks who are susceptible, obviously, to COVID, to flu, to anything else that could strike.
That's right. And we are partnering with Nevada Health Centers, and we will have a vaccination clinic in the middle of September. Again, when I come back on our next month, I'm hopeful that it'll work well. We're just waiting to get a date. We were planning on having it this month. However, the influenza vaccination is going to be released in September, I think on September 1st. And so Nevada Health Center said, why don't we wait just a little bit so that we can put in the influenza vaccine as well. And so we would have tetanus and pneumonia. We would have the influenza, and there were a couple of others that I'm forgetting right now. But
maybe what's new in COVID, or
and COVID is now an insurable
that's
vaccination.
Right. It's not free.
So we don't get that for free anymore,
okay.
And so we can't offer that one just because we don't have the funding for it.
Just like the shingles one.
Shingles, yep. Shingles is one of the ones that we can offer. We can offer shingles and pneumonia, tetanus. Don't know if RSV is in there, but certainly influenza. And so if you are interested in vaccinations, we can tell you what we are able to offer, and hopefully we'll have that date soon.
That sounds great, Matt. Appreciate that. And again, the Terrace is just full of ongoing activities, events, whether it's exercise like Tai Chi or making crafts and getting ready for the December fundraiser, which is, of course, the annual bazaar that goes on at the convention center.
That's right. And that's hard to believe that it's just around the corner as well. The community has been so good, especially some of our seniors, and preparing items for the bazaar that the senior center is able to then sell and make a little bit of money to kind of balance the budget. And so we're excited for that. That's just 4 months away, so we'll be able to start pushing that a little bit heavier too.
I know the Elko Convention Center also announced Festival of Trees will be opening up before you know it, because this is concurrent with the bazaar, and they're going to be taking applications for charity partners.
Yes,
yeah,
yep, absolutely.
So it's a great thing to look forward to. It helps raise spirits and also generate some income for these great nonprofit groups, Matt. So,
yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So I don't know if you have anything else that you wanted to. Oh, I guess look at the time already. I was
That's
looking
what I was
at.
say.
Yeah, it's I guess we're wrapped
we're
today.
about out of time. As always, thank you so much, Lori, for allowing us to come in, for allowing us to visit with the community over the radio. And anyone that would like to communicate with us or visit with us in person, please stop on by 1795 Ruby View Drive. Come on up anytime. Give us a call at 775-738-3030. We'd love to chat with you. And our doors are open 7:30 to 3:30 Monday through Friday. So if it's not a county or a state holiday, then we're probably open.
You'll find plenty of friends there, smiling faces and people who really want to help, whatever your issue might be. And if you need transportation, don't let that stop you, because you can get My Ride through Elko County, Greater Elko Area Transit. We appreciate the ongoing support. We know it's not something that is usually at the top of people's mind, but our county commissioners, every year they get a presentation from Get My Ride. Thank you, Get My Ride, for keeping such good records, but you can get transportation, which is so important.
Absolutely, and it is vital for some of our seniors. That is the only option that they have to be able to come up to the center.
That's right. Senior citizens, people with disabilities, students, and often, in many cases, door-to-door service. Register by calling 775-777-1428 for Get My Ride. Matt, thank you for the visit. We always look forward to sitting down with you.
Thanks so much, Lori. Have a great day.
Thank you, listeners, for joining us for Elko Live on KELK.